Hello YouTube, this is Time Itself, and today I've got some domination on lockdown for you. In this video I'd like to talk a little bit about reading the radar. Now I don't want to promote an over-reliance on the radar, but it is a really useful tool, and get as much out of it as you can because it really does help. The first thing I think I should bring up is that when people spawn in, they almost always just run out of their spawn towards where they think you are, or towards where they think they can go and get a revenge kill. So you see people out in the open, not next to cover. Very few people are so bad that they don't try to get some cover at least. And you see them out there and you know they're not going to be there in the same place the next time the radar scans. And guessing which direction they're headed give you a good idea on what you should be doing to try and catch them off guard. So here, I didn't want to have to be here to kill the guy coming from that direction. So I know that if I could get over there towards the next set of boxes, it'll be okay, but I paused for just a second to think, those dots that I see, are they going to make it around to the corner in time to kill me while I'm running trying to get to the cover? No, they weren't, so I know that I can keep moving around. Now, these guys up here, they may know I'm here, but they don't have a very good line of sight. They probably have assault rifles, though, too, like I do, maybe even sniper rifles. So this is really stupid of me because I walk right back into assault rifle range and let them kill me. That was a complete mistake on my part. But that's the other thing I want to talk about, is looking at a camping spot and seeing a dot there and knowing which direction the guy is probably looking and what weapon he probably has. At this point, we've played these maps enough to just get a pretty good idea about where the popular spots are going to be and what people are going to be using when they're there. So those guys back in that window up there, they have assault rifles just like I do, and they have better cover. I can't step around that corner to engage those guys unless my teammates are distracting them, because otherwise, at best, it's a fair fight. They have more cover than me, and maybe I get on target faster, but that's not a gamble I really want to take unless I have to. Now the third point here is that a lot of times people say avoid the middle of the map, and for the purposes of radar, being in the middle of the map is actually rather confusing, because they can still see your dot, but they can't see exactly where you're around. So you could be on the far side of the map, or you could just be just out of range from the minimap where the radar covers, and you could be in line of sight to shoot them, those two guys. If they'd seen me on the minimap, they wouldn't have quite been able to pick out where I was. I could have been further back behind in the corner of the map, and I wouldn't have been a threat at that point. But instead, I've actually got line of sight on them, not going to kill them. So, if you're in the middle of the map, the people spawning in behind you might be a bit of distraction as to where exactly you are on the radar. Of course, when you're in an area with multiple levels, the radar is of less use. So there, that guy didn't know if I was up on the balcony or down below by the tunnel. Okay, so I talked about so far about where the red dots are, but the green triangles, they're just as useful. Right there, we were losing A, but instead of going back for A, I turned and I looked away from A because I could tell that none of the arrows on my team are looking in that direction. So every time I run back over here, I check this direction first because we don't have control of this area of the map, and so that's the other thing the radar is really useful for. Even if you don't have a UAV up, even if they've got assassin, you can tell where your teammates are, and you get a good idea for where the enemies are likely going to be able to get through your defenses, and where you probably have safe areas for your team on the map. So I know I haven't been going for very long, but let me try to summarize again. Dots that are out in the open are moving, probably away from the spawn, probably towards you. Dots that are stationary or at camping spots probably have a weapon that's suitable for that camping spot in that line of sight. And because you want to avoid fair fights, you shouldn't try to engage them with the same weapon along the line of sight that they're watching. That's why it's a camping spot. That's why it's a power position, because those kinds of places are good, and trying to take someone out of them, that's difficult. That's what you have grenades for. Just flash them, stun them, EMP, whatever, and get a grenade in there, a Simtex or a frag, or C4 if you're feeling creative, and get them out of there. Don't try to engage them on their own terms where that camping spot has the advantage. Of course, sometimes the goofballs start doing silly things that don't really make sense. So here's an example. This guy's going to be standing on the stairs, and I expect him to be moving through, because if my teammate were to come up behind him, he'd be dead as a doornail, but no, so I get caught with my overpowered secondary out at a range that's a little bit longer than it's really good at. So I guess props for him for being in the right place, but That was not a very good place to stand for very long. The second guy, I could tell he was reloading, and it's just like smelling blood in the water. You gotta run out there and kill him. I think I die 7 times in this game, and most of them are in some way related to explosives. So there I was hurt, even though I had the overpowered secondaries out. He pops me a couple times, hip firing with the assault rifle, and takes me down. Okay, here's another thing was talking about, where you see where the dot is and you know what's going on. If you see a dot on this stairs, this is a power position looking in at A. They can't shoot my body. I've only got my head looking over, and I got marksman on, so I can see their name tags pop up, and I know when to start spraying down that hallway. Snipers, assault rifles, light machine guns, you know, it would be a fair fight at best for them, but instead they start throwing special grenades, get a Semtex, I get hurt, and he pushes up far enough that he's able to get an easier way to get a line of sight on me, so I'm not such a small target, and they take me out. Props to them, and that's how you do it, and that's that's how you end someone's kill streak. So yeah, overpowered. I don't know how I lost this fight. He went prone. I guess that's the smart choice. Try to keep it at range with the assault rifles. I know I die like 7 times in this game, but honestly, I think I get like 40, almost close to 50 kills, which for me is a lot, so I figured that this gameplay was good to use for this commentary because a lot of action and only a little bit of dying, not too much. That guy, I thought he'd be going up the stairs to this room, but instead he turned around. I guess he saw my teammates, so you saw me almost do a double take there. I see the guy on the stairs going down. I'm like, wait, what's going on? Like, I don't expect him to be there. Like, I know I only had 1 scan, maybe 2 of the radar before I got in there, because we didn't have radar for a minute, and so in that amount of time, I'd seen where he was, and I assumed I knew which direction he was headed in. I guess the other thing is, when you start a game, you kind of have to feel out a team for what they're trying to do. Are they trying to kill you? They're just trying to bum rush you? Are they just trying to camp and not die? Or are they really aggressively pushing towards the points? And those are the kinds of things you kind of have to feel out in the first minute of the game, and when you put that, once you know how that team is playing, or at least how the individuals on the team are playing, you get an even better idea for, when you see the dots, what they're trying to do. This guy, he's not going for C, he's trying to kill me, he's trying to get me out of this camping spot. Unfortunately for him, he brought a silenced assault rifle to the fight that was inside the range for my overpowered Evo MP FMG9s, that's what they are. Damn, those things are ridiculous. I hope they patch them soon. They're kind of fun to use, but oh my gosh, they're ridiculous. That window right there, when I had cover, but I had a silenced assault rifle, and that's long enough range that I am not going to win that fight against another weapon that's unsilenced. And here, the first guy of the 4 that I killed takes me out. So again, you're trying to use the radar to identify where people are looking, and then avoid the fair fights. Now, playing with a shotgun, that's a little differently than playing with an assault rifle, an SMG, or a sniper rifle. But if someone is running in the same direction, trying to do the same, don't engage them along the same line of sight that they're trying to use to their advantage. Hopefully, if they're any good, they'll have the advantage if you step out and try to take them on that line of sight, where their weapon that they have, they've chosen the weapon in the line of sight properly, that's not going to go well for you. One more death before we get the win here. Anyway guys, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the commentary. I thought it was interesting and maybe even insightful. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys later. Have a nice day.